Well, for me, I found it intimidating. These guys were already so good, and I remember there being pressure. I remember my mom saying, "Joey, what are you going to play?" And for a long time, I was like, "Nothing. I'm not interested in music."
I'm not rebel by being an accountant.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Welcome to Room 6. I'm Josh, and today I am very happy to welcome local singer, phenom, multi-instrument player, Joey Hines. Say hi.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for watching.
So, Joey, welcome to Room 6, officially.
Thank you very much, Josh.
Looking forward to your performances upstairs.
I'm looking forward to doing that. That would be very fun.
I have some questions for you, young man.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I was afraid of.
First of all, having heard your music, why does Punks in Vegas love you so much?
Well, let me tell you, Josh. Punks in Vegas is run by a guy named Steven.
Mm-hmm.
And Steven and I actually, we work together. We both work at a day job at the library. So that's how we met. So, yeah, just Steven's a friend. And
I was actually going to ask you that later. Are you still working at the library district?
I am, yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Are they aware of the music you sing?
Many of them are, yeah. Actually, it's kind of cool. The library, it's a pretty chill place. Typically, people who work there tend to be pretty cool. Uh-huh. So I'll let people know. I try not to be
obnoxious about it.
I don't want to bother people. I don't want to beg my coworkers to come to my show or anything. But I'll let them know. I'll put flyers in the lounge, and a lot of them actually come. They show up and.
Oh yeah, librarians love to party.
Yeah, they do. Librarians.
I've heard stories about
animals,
conventions and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
ALA is a trip, man.
So what do you do there, if I may ask?
I work in children's services. So
meaning
I do story times for kids.
Right.
That's a big part of my job. So I get to read books to kids. I'm like, hey kids, have you heard about the doghouse? Here's this. Mm-hmm. And I get to play songs for them. Just fun, kid songs and stuff. Super cute. Kids are tough crowd though. They they don't take any bullshit.
Right.
If you're not funny and you're not interesting, they're just they're just gonna
their boredom threshold is they're not I see what he's saying. No.
Oh no, not always the most you have to grip them. You have to they're not gonna just give you their attention. You gotta. So in that way, it's kind of trial by fire as a performer. I gotta really try to up my game so I can keep these kids interested.
Right on.
Yeah.
Now you have more than one social media site where you have merch and you have your show notifications and things like that. And I know you brought some merch today, right? I
did, yeah. I've got a few CDs out in the world. Mm-hmm. So yes, as you mentioned, I do have an online presence. You can go to joeyhines.bandcamp.com and you can find my music there and you can find some of my merch there. I brought in some CDs today. I've been releasing albums for a little while. This is one that's called Don't Interrupt My Drinking.
That's it?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, we'll do it right here.
That was a really exciting album to make. We did it as a Kickstarter project. That CD is actually a split album with Joshua Greenway and Anna Durden.
18 songs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 from each of us.
Yeah, which is really cool, actually. Is that Anna?
That's Anna back there, yeah.
And who's that?
I don't know who
That's
the hell
not
that
you.
fucker is. No.
That's not Josh.
No, that is me. Yeah, that's me.
Is that you?
That was me on the banana suit, yeah.
Wow.
I was just being coy.
I see.
Yeah, back in the day. But, super fun album to make. Super fun to collaborate with those guys.
Can I be happy on the glass? That's awesome.
We had those glasses made, actually. That was one of our Kickstarter awards, so...
Right on. And what else you got?
This is called I Used to Dream, with artwork by the amazing Susan Atostino. And Susan's a local artist. She frequently has galleries First Friday and stuff. 5 songs on there. I kind of think of it as a downer album. It's if you've listened to some of my music, you might notice I'm funny sometimes. And this album really isn't very humorous at all. There you go. Here's your download code.
That's what that is.
Yeah. But yeah, kind of a little bit more of a serious set of songs.
Right on. And then
after that, 2016, I did Oh Ho, which is a palindrome title.
Yes, it is.
Again, artwork by Susan. She's really awesome. I approached her back to back, about 6 months apart, about those 2 different albums, and I kind of saw them as like companion pieces to each other.
Is that a flying chicken?
Yeah, she's like a chicken.
With a bow?
Or I think she and chickens share a common ancestor. Is what it is.
Right on.
Yeah. And then I got this book.
A book? He's an author!
Yes. It's called Overwhelmingly Okay, Poems and Drawings by Joey Hines. I published it when I'd been writing poetry for a long time, and I had been not drawing ever. So the drawings are very, you could call them amateurish, but I hope they have that charm of, they're raw, and they express some kind of raw emotion because of their lack of finesse, I suppose.
No, I can definitely see what you're doing here, and with your permission, I'll put a couple of the drawings and poems just real quick on the screen.
Sure, yeah.
Cool.
Use them how you'd like.
Cool. Can we keep this?
Sure, yeah.
Sweet. Cool. I have a scanner, so we'll put this down here. Anyway, right on.
Perfect.
So you've got, of course, you're on Facebook.
Yes.
And you're on
Instagram,
Twitter.
at Joey Hines Music, Twitter at Joey Hines Music.
And all those links will be down in the description.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Who made the puppets?
I'm glad you asked, because the puppets were almost all made by Zachary Honey, who is the director of that video. Did a music video for a song called Make Our Relationship Great Again.
Which is a great video. Which is a great video. If you like puppets especially, but it's awesome. I checked it out today and I was like, this is genius. This is really awesome.
Thank you, man. Yeah, Zach he's the mastermind, man. I went to him. I had this idea. I was like, Grant and I wrote this song. We think there needs to be a video. We think it needs to get out before the election, which was in 2016, because of the lyrical content. And I think it needs to involve puppets. I've always been like a Jim Henson enthusiast, so I always like old school, like cool like puppetry and stuff. And Zach said, yeah, and he ran with it, man. And he made it look fantastic. And the puppets are basically his construction. Other people helped too.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, a few other people helped on the film too. I tried to help, but crafts have never been my thing, so I was mostly standing there like an idiot. But Zach was
were those your hands when it cuts to like real hands?
They're not. No.
Whose are they?
That's a great question. They did that shot. I was out at the time, and
it's probably Zach's.
They might be Zach's hands. Zach, are those your hands? You gotta tell me if you see this. But yeah, very fun thing. Very fun project.
Cool. You can see a whole bunch of articles and little videos and things with Joey on Punks in Vegas, if you look up his name. And that's actually where I got some of my information. But that's where I saw that video. I was just like, this is amazing. So, now you come from a musical family.
I do, yeah.
Both your brothers, I know, played on this your latest album, which is not one of those, which is not a physical release, but you can get it from Bandcamp. That's Okay, You Can Make Fun of Me Now, which is a follow-up to the last one, which is also not one of those, which is called Don't Make Fun of Me. Right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So, I'm growing up in a musical family, which I did not. What is it like to always hear people playing music when you haven't nailed down like your instrument yet? I know like you bounced from piano, which was, I started piano at 7. And like you, I was kind of forced into it a little bit.
Okay.
But I wish I kept up with it.
Okay.
I picked up guitar at some point. I said, oh, okay, forget piano.
Yeah.
And I wish I had it. I wish I still had to. I can sight read piano whereas I can't sight read guitar. But I wish I had, I only know 2 songs on piano.
Okay.
And I wish I had stayed with it. But I know before you got to guitar, there was viola.
It's true, yes.
And what was that like, going from piano to that? What made you do viola? Was it just school and you needed to pick an instrument?
Kind of, yeah. No, it sounds like we've had a somewhat similar journey, growing up with all that around. My brother is a fantastic drummer. My other brother's a fantastic guitarist. And they kind of already were by the time I was born. We have a bit of an age difference. They're about a decade older than me. So
same. My next oldest sibling is 9 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
And I'm the last of 5. So there really wasn't a whole bunch of me playing with them. It was more me trying to stay out of their way
Yeah,
while they're teenagers and stuff.
Well, for me, I found it intimidating. You know, these guys were already so good, and I remember there being pressure. Like, you know, I remember my mom saying, "Joey, what are you going to play?" And for a long time, I was like, "Nothing. I'm not interested in music." You know,
I'm not rebel by being an accountant.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, my mom made me start learning piano at 10, and I'm so glad. Like, as soon as I started playing like "Ode to Joy," I was like, "Oh shit, this is fun!" And I was like, I can make like this.
When
sound
you're not just doing chords, but you're actually,
yeah, like well, just like that excitement of like a song like making it happen with your hands.
That's the first time where you're like, it sounds like the song I like.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that was cool, and then viola was very much. I felt like I should do music as part of a class, and the orchestra teacher who did like a outreach to like the portable classroom where I was, and I don't know if we need to be
sorry
censoring
ourselves. We're going to take a quick jump cut because the family's home. We're back.
Hi again.
Picking up where we left off, talking about your brothers, music and all that jazz.
Great guys.
When you went to eventually guitar, do you still have the Hofner?
Hofner. Oh, I do. You know what? It's in a case. It's in a like big case, and I don't play very much because
that's old.
Well, I have my Taylor. Why would I play the Hofner? But I love opening up that case because the smell of that guitar. I don't know what it is, but it's just like it takes me back to being 12. You know, sitting on my couch and first looking up guitar tabs and all of that. Like it's kind of cool.
The acoustic I have hanging on my wall up in room 6 is. It was like $88 back in the 90s, you know, and it was it was a store called Freedom Guitars in San Diego, and it has a Freedom guitar sticker inside. So I have no idea like who made it or whether they just took a bunch of parts or whatever. It's a wider neck, and it's what I wrote my first album on. It's what I learned guitar on. Yeah. I learned that's what I learned songwriting on, I should say. But
so it's so special for that reason.
Yeah,
if it's not.
I'll never get rid of it.
Yeah,
but I could never sell it for more than like $20.
Yeah. Even if no one else would be impressed by it.
Probably furniture grade wood, you know?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Okay. Let's see here. Now, you've described yourself as a folky. As a folk
Very
singer.
much so, yeah.
But, having heard your music, I know you're also a Bo Burnham fan. And a Daniel Johnston fan. I don't hear folky. I hear comedy a lot when you're not doing the morose stuff, which is still not folky, really, to me. I hear, either the navel-gazing singer-songwriter, or I hear comedy, music, which is great.
It's valuable to know.
Are you familiar with Stephen Lynch?
Yes, I am.
I hear Stephen Lynch.
Okay, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially the song about, I forget what it's called. Oh, yeah, I love you, but you don't. But I don't like Seether. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as like style, I do write a lot of humorous music. I suppose people find it humorous, but I don't think of it that way. When I'm writing a song, I want to. I'm in that world. Like I want to. The guy who doesn't like Seether, that's a real problem in his life. So I don't often come from a place of I want to make you laugh. I'm trying to figure out what the singer wants or what is going on in their world at that moment, which is always like I don't know, it's hard because I don't want to be lumped in like as a humorist, like as a comedy musician,
right?
I see it as a little more broad than that. That's why I love Bo Burnham, because Bo Burnham, he's a comedian, but watching like a Bo Burnham special is not always a funny experience.
Right, there's always at least one song where you realize, oh, he's getting real.
Yeah. Like his song "Art Is Dead" was the first moment where I was like, oh shit, this kid's got some like deep stuff. Or his song "From the Perspective of God" from his special "What." Like it's just so incredible. It's so beautiful. And even his comedy has gotten more like meta, I think, as he goes on. Like he clearly struggles with the idea of himself as like a famous entertainer and the ego of that.
Oh yeah, like he'll be self-deprecating to the point of, okay, dude, back up.
Yeah.
We like you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I always like that. I liked how he seems to be. He seems to keep it pretty real. Yeah.
Right. It's a fine line to walk between, you should like me and shouldn't like me. It's like, where do you find it?
It's tough, right? Yeah. Like yeah. But I always just respected artists who kept it real, which I guess is why like I have that. I think of myself as writing in kind of the folk tradition. Like I love Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan is a songwriting hero of mine.
Sure.
Simply because it's not about the specifics of the sound to me. It's about, do I feel like this person is telling me the truth? And Bob Dylan is kind of he has that kind of enigmatic personality. He has all those different periods. They're all you never know what kind of Dylan you're gonna get if you have Dylan on shuffle on your music or something. But he always, there's an authenticity there. You can feel that, even through the pretense, even when he's putting on a different voice and he's acting like a clown or whatever, like there's something that comes through in the music. You can hear the heart of it. And I'm very, I don't know, as a songwriter, I'm very heart-led. Even when I'm singing about some silly shit, I want it to be raw and real, I guess.
And I mean, Dylan was so real and honest. I mean, a lot of people have made, money and fame from covering his songs. But he was so real. When he switched to electric guitar, there were riots. I mean, it was a big deal.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and then he went and said, "No, see, look, I can make this work too."
That was like that kind of transformation. Yeah.
Right. And the dog wants in, so we're gonna do another jump cut.
Jump cut. We jump and then we cut.
I'd like to not have a bunch of jump cuts, dog. Okay, dogs, let back in.
Welcome back, dog.
Yes, welcome back. Where does the love for girl pool and feminist punk come from?
I like anything that feels, like someone is putting themselves out there, like someone is saying something raw and maybe a little bit against the grain, So, girl pool, I love their minimalism. As someone who is usually just playing a guitar or just a piano, I can respect, making the most out of the elements you have. That's something I try to do a lot. So I like listening to, especially their first couple records. Like their first self-titled EP was so good. Just the one that's just called Girl Pool. Like it's just guitar, bass, and God, they make it like work. Like the way the interplay like works. The bass line will be doing something, the guitar is doing something else, and then the words are just thoughtful and good and kind of personal and they do have that feminist side too, which I love. I just like chicks a lot, but I want chicks, power to the chicks. But so I like to see that kind of thing, especially like that brand of punk. Yeah, them and there's like a super group like female punk band called Childbirth, who actually are they're a little bit like humorous. They've got some really funny songs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it Oho that you did at Mike Z's place?
Oho, yeah, I did do that there.
Shout out to Mike. How do you say his last name?
Mike Zetlow.
Is it Zetlow? I never remember him. Sorry.
That's my understanding. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Mike Z.
Vegas on the mic. We remember you.
I'm gonna say Zetlow because I know he recently legally changed his name so that the spelling matches the pronunciation, and that's how I would say the new spelling. So that's what I'm gonna commit to.
What is it? Z-E-T now?
Zetlw.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
I was surprised to see his name pop up though on that, and I was like, "Huh." I didn't realize he had like a whole studio and was doing producing and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I only knew him from Vegas on the mic. I only knew him from the open mic show that he was hosting, and then now he's doing other stuff in another state. But that's cool. And you basically got to hang out with what was the dog's name?
Oh, his cat.
Cat
is Pumpkin. Yeah.
Pumpkin.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. Actually, all these tracks were recorded there at Lulu's studio.
All the CDs?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
It's kind of been an ongoing project with me and him because sometimes he'll be in town and he needs someone to watch Pumpkin, so I'll come in and he just kind of lets me have my run of the studio. So, so it's a very, very nice setup there, and he does a great job with mixing.
Yeah. No, the production value on it was really, really good. I didn't hear these two.
Okay.
So I heard that one, but I was like, oh, it sounds like he went to a studio and everything, and then find out basically it was you in his studio.
Yeah.
So you've got experience mixing and everything then.
Yeah, some of that too. Is he sat me down and he said, "Here's how you do this. Here's how you do this." It's kind of cool learning from him.
Right on.
With all his open mic experience.
What was it? Pro Tools?
Videos and everything. I think
Probably Pro Tools. Yeah. Okay. How long have you been doing music?
Well, I've been playing guitar since I was 10. Started playing piano just a little bit before that, and so what is that? Like 18 years or something?
I don't know. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 28, so
okay.
I should be better at it than I am, I suppose. That's a long time, but yeah, it's just been kind of a constant in life,
Right on. How long have you been in Vegas?
My whole life, basically. I was born in Chicago. I moved here when I was 3.
Okay.
I consider myself a vegan.
A vegan.
Yes.
But not a vegan.
Not a vegan, but yeah.
Right on. Your brothers still perform with you ever?
No, they kind of got other things going on. They got their own lives and they got families and all that. So,
yeah.
But they do get to record with me once in a while. We did the release show for Oho, which was super fun. So
and I know they worked on some of the tracks on the newest one.
Yeah, which was great.
But not the title track, right?
Not the title track, but on Okay, You Can Make Fun of Me Now, there's a song called Your Dick Is Perfect.
Yeah,
so
I saw that they worked on that.
They did, yeah. We worked closely together on that. The song's actually a co-write between the three of us. It started because I went to my brother Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I wanted to write something with him, and I said, Mike, if you could write one song, like, before you died, like, to tell the world, like, something, like, if this was the only song you could write, like, what would you want to write about? And he said, well, I have 2 ideas. I would want to write about, whether people can really change, like how much of human personality is innate and, how much is, it can be shaped by either
deeper than
your own environment or your decisions. Yeah, that was his first idea. And then he said his second idea would be to, would be a message to the men of the world that your dick is fine and you need to stop worrying about your dick, and your dick is perfect. I said, let's go with the second idea.
So it's the other side of your vagina is beautiful.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That should be like a sister song or something.
Well, it is, or not a song, but there's a thing out there about your vagina is beautiful. That's perfect the way it is. But yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's like it is what it is. Stop worrying about it. It's going to be fine.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, males in particular in our society just have a lot of like pent up.
I know.
Pent up like energy, and I think So in a way, I wanted it to be that too. I wanted to say, guys, stop being fucking idiots. Like, just relax about your fucking dick. Move on with your life.
Right on. Now, I want to talk about your early musical influences, like what kind of started shaping you. Obviously, besides Johnston and Burnham. But before we get to that, you were a theater kid.
I was, yeah.
Now, what kind of theater? Are we talking acting?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was actually a dance kid.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, nice. I studied dance for 10 years. I did ballet, tap, and jazz. And so I know that part of the theater. Acting, I dabbled, but I was never really like comfortable with it. This is the closest I get to acting.
Nice.
What did you do? Like, all I really found out was like you were a theater kid, and then somehow you weren't.
Yeah.
So what was that about?
I did theater in middle school. I joined like the drama club, and then I joined a really cool organization called the Rainbow Company. They do like youth theater here in town, and I was part of that as throughout like from like 13 to 18, which is great. I made a lot of really great friends that way. It was a really cool organization. And then I majored it in college. I was an actor at University of Oklahoma. And I was strictly an actor. Like that school, we had a school drama and we had a school musical theater. And I was specifically in the school drama as an actor. So I never, I wasn't really taking like music classes and singing classes and stuff. And you might be able to tell from my music, I kind of have an untrained voice. Like I didn't,
I think it fits what you're doing perfectly. You're not trying to sing what you shouldn't be singing, what your voice is not trained for.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how I always thought. I'm not trying to blow anyone's mind. I just want to tell the story,
So it's not so much a theater kid. This was all the way through college.
Oh yeah, I did a lot of theater in my life, and I still love theater. But as I got older, it was just a shift in interest. I realized even when I was acting, I was writing songs all the time, and when I got free time, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go home and I wanted to practice my guitar, and I wanted to.
There's your sign. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just what it evolved into, and theater still informs it. I feel like I try to entertain the audience. I try to be interesting. I try to not to just be boring or whatever. But
right
so that comes along with it. But yeah,
cool. Moving from there, so early musical influences. What was getting you started? Like, oh, I want to make that music, or I want to sound like that.
Yeah, as a kid,
yeah.
I was obsessed with Weird Al Yankovic. I bought all the albums. Yeah,
that's also comedy music.
Yeah, well, completely. But again, like, I don't know that I exactly saw it that way. Like, I wasn't.
Right.
I got into it, man. Like, part of what I loved about him was the recreations that his band does of all those different songs, and they play all over the map. They play all different styles, and so Weird Al was very much a gateway for me into all kinds of other music because he played everything, and obsessing over him, like, I feel like I got a really good just cultural map of music, just
and the music is so good. Even the original stuff is just
his original.
When you listen to it later and you know more about music, you're like, wow, like they're musicians. Yeah. This is not just a shtick.
Yeah. Well, and I'm a big fan. Like, for me, the originals are where it's at. Like, he did that originals only tour a couple years ago. That was incredible.
What was it called? Was it called? No, it wasn't called originals only.
It was called the Vanity Tour. It was
right.
It was a ridiculous long name, but it was funny because it was not his commercially successful material. But yeah, I like the deep cuts. I Remember Larry and Good Enough for Now. That guy's awesome. But for me, he was a gateway into specifically Nirvana because he did that Nirvana parody. And I remember hearing the Weird Al song, and I was like,
"Smells Like Nirvana."
Yeah, Smells Like Nirvana. I was like, "This is a cool riff." I was like, "Wait, I like what those."
I've never heard anybody say I got into Nirvana through Weird Al.
I don't know. That's how it happened for me. And then Nirvana was another major obsession. I was in 6th grade. I stole my brother's copy of Nevermind, and I was listening to that in my little portable CD player all the time. And
the CD Walkman.
Yeah.
Kids don't know. Goddamn the millennials.
Yeah, you're missing out, I guess. But
no,
you're really not. But no, again, Nirvana was I connected with it because of what I perceived as an authenticity, because Kurt just seemed to tell it like it is. Obviously, given how things turned out with him, he clearly had a lot of real demons he was battling, and I certainly wouldn't want to to glamorize whatever mental issues he had going on. But as far as the music, I could tell there was something real happening here, and there was something so intense going on, and that was how I got into rock and roll, man. That's what did it for me.
So that it wasn't until then, right, that you really cared about rock and roll?
Yeah, isn't that weird? Yeah,
that is weird actually. But that's okay.
Kids, I remember were into music on the radio, and I just didn't.
All right. Well, that's a good segue into your current musical influences. When you are writing new stuff, are you listening to music to kind of get idea of where to go, or trying to get inspiration, or you just listen to your own stuff pretty much? Oh
no, I'm always listening to other stuff. I'd go crazy if I just listened to myself. But no, I'm listening to. I try to go over the map. I try to listen to something every Friday because that's when new music usually comes out. So I'll go through and try to find something interesting. Yeah, and then I try to listen to something during the week too, something older, because there's so much musical history, obviously. But so I'm a little systematic about it. But in general, I just like good writers. I'm kind of a lyric dork, so I like to listen to people who are good. Like Stephen Merritt is a favorite of mine into magnetic fields. His rhyme game is just unbelievable. And he always, he's always writing from the heart. And Yeah, but I listen to a lot of other stuff too. I like jam bands a lot. I like musically dense stuff. Because what does it for me is like the improvisation. Like I like the idea of a band getting on stage and not knowing what specifically they're gonna do next. There's like an excitement in that. So I like hearing it happen on the spot, you know, and that's something I'm hoping to work toward myself. I'm trying to find places where I can play in a band setting and work on my chops and my communication with other musicians. And
it's a whole other world when there's other people involved, especially in an open mic or open jam thing where you're like, okay, this is what I'm doing. It's in this key. Okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's like here we go. Yeah, and cool.
Time for that. One of those questions, those regular interview questions. How do you define your musical style?
The age-old question.
Yes.
And I'm sure I hate answering this question, but because as you brought up earlier, I've gone through, I've called myself folk. Sometimes I just call myself indie rock because it doesn't really mean anything. It's kind of vague.
Like I saw the punks in Vegas. I was like, he's not punk. I'm not hearing punk from this. Although at the same time, the sensibilities and the lyrics can be very punk in what you're doing.
Sometimes. Yeah. And that's how I.
Although they also can be Ben Folds 5.
Yeah. Right. Well,
give me my money back, you bitch.
Yeah. I think Ben Folds said something. His music was like punk rock for like wusses or something, like, which I always thought was funny and related to a little bit.
Although, I mean, then there's Crimson Riot that just put out classy punk for trashy people.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good title. When I first started writing songs, I called myself folk punk. I was like, that's what makes sense to me. Like I like folk tradition. I like against the grain.
I mean, it's punk in that you're breaking from the norm of folk. But it's not.
It's not folk punk. No, I go and see bands, and I'm like, oh, this is a thing. This is a.
Yeah. I've been misrepresenting myself. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to do some rethinking there, and the people I relate to most are like outsider musicians. That's Daniel Johnston. Like people who are just so their own thing. That's what I hope. I hope I have that effect. I hope people see me and they say, "Oh, that's just Joey. That's just Joey music."
Oh, definitely. If you hear your music, you're like, "That's Joey Hines."
Yeah.
As soon as I heard the first song, I was like, I can't remember which one it was, but it was on SoundCloud, and I was just like, "He's got a unique sound."
Like, all right. Doing something. Yeah.
Any musical goals? Like, what's on your horizon? What are you aiming to do besides your next gig? Which next show is Friday at
Boulder Dam Brewing Company in Boulder City.
Awesome. This interview should be posted by then.
Yeah, come on out.
You're playing with other people in that show, right?
With Russell Christian and Michael Lewis Austin.
I know Michael Lewis Austin. He's cool.
Yeah,
All Togethers are awesome as well. Mm-hmm. Trying to get him on the show or them on the show. But what are your musical goals? Like, is there you want to learn a new instrument, or I want to start incorporating more of this type of sound, or what?
Biggest thing I try to do is I try to be consistent. I try to constantly be writing and constantly be putting out.
Oh, consistent content. That way, not with your sound necessarily.
Not with the sound at all. No,
I was going to say,
in fact, quite the opposite.
Because from don't make fun of me to okay, now you can make fun of me. The title tracks alone are way different, and I was going to talk about that. Like, did your brothers have anything to do with that sound difference on the latest album? Because when I listened to the two sound title tracks, I was like, okay, don't make fun of me. That's one way. And then, okay, now you can make fun of me is totally different. It's like experimental almost, or it reminded me actually of some early Bare Naked Ladies, which is weird to say.
Sure.
But I was like, what happened there?
Yeah, they definitely. They play on that song, obviously, Your Dick is Perfect, and Mike is a great bassist, and he's very melodic, and so they definitely, influenced that particular track. The rest of it, I'm just always trying new things, man. There's that song Hot Bananas, which I had my friend Zach again, who directed that puppet video, and my friend Grant come into the studio for, and they really made that song into what it is. that song came out of a frustrated moment in the studio. I was like, I was trying to record songs. I was like, these are not working. This shit sucks. I don't know why I'm doing this. So I detuned my guitar. I wrote this stupid ass song about hot bananas, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm even going to use this. And then Zach came in and he heard it and he was like, I got an idea, and he put in all those harmonies. He was like, making it like a Brian Wilson song or something.
Yes.
Grant came in with his trumpet, and he played those trumpet lines, which crack me up because they're just very funny. Very funny way to use a trumpet. So they really that was cool. I think the difference you're hearing, is a little bit what you were suggesting. It's the magic of collaboration. Don't Make Fun of Me was a very insular album. That's me doing the drum programming. That's me playing the synth and stuff. So it's a little darker. I was a little more depressed. So the songs are a little bit more self-deprecating. Whereas Okay, You Can Make Fun of Me Now. It's kind of why I called it that too, because I was like, we're having fun now. This is what I sound like when I get my friends to come make music with me, and so that was a really fun thing to be able to do.
Right on. Let's move on to favorite show memory.
Show memories. There are a lot I could talk about. It's just always a great experience when you get to do a show and get people there who care and are listening.
Right.
So anytime that happens, it really just means a lot to me when people come out and pay that kind of attention to what you're doing. The show I did this past December, it was a release show for Don't Make Fun of Me, at Beauty Bar, and it was just so cool. It was a great night for so many reasons. I had my friend Alan Murphy down from California, and he played right before I did, along with Ann Reburn, another great LA artist. And their set was killer. They kind of accompany each other. Like, she plays bass while he plays guitar, and they trade doing like each other's original songs.
Okay.
And then so it was great seeing them. Great having them in town. And then I got to do my set, and I hadn't really been doing music for a while. Like that, I kind of went through a period, like a cabin phase, where I wasn't playing out as much. It's not that I wasn't doing music, but I was doing music at home. I was writing and I was recording.
Okay.
And I was, doing that. So I didn't have that feedback where you go out and play a show and you hear people's thoughts and that back and forth. So it was the first show I'd really done in a while. So it was just amazing seeing the turnout. I think we got 25, 30 people in the Beauty Bar, and
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was really cool to see everyone there, especially after being away from kind of the scene for a little bit. It was cool to see, people still care. People still want to hear what I'm doing. That was very just encouraging as an artist.
Right on. All right, from favorite show memory, how about favorite venue?
Favorite venue, I love playing Beauty Bar. It's a shame it's closed. But I would say...
Rest in peace, Beauty Bar.
I would say my favorite has to be anytime I get to play Bunkhouse.
Bunkhouse is awesome.
Yeah, I did a show there a little over a year ago, and I'd love to do a show out there again, Bunkhouse, if you're watching.
Hint, hint.
And it's just such a great stage, such an intimate space. I always, doing my kind of music, doing acoustic, kind of singer-songwriter stuff, it's just, it's cool because the stage is just a nice size room, and it's just a really intimate space. I also like a backstage bar and billiards.
That is an awesome place too, yeah.
Yeah, a great stage. I got to do a show there with the Quacks, one of my favorite local bands, and it was just a great time, man. Great place to hang out.
I just love the entrance to the stage from the backstage.
Oh yeah, the little door in the back that goes into the pool table.
First time I saw it, someone opened it, I'm like, that's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yep, because I was sitting there like, I guess I'm going to have to go around?
Yeah, it's kind of cool experience as an artist. It's a very dramatic way to enter the station.
Yeah, for me it was House of Blues.
Okay.
The sound, there's a sound person to your left, and there's a sound person up front. So you sound amazing.
Oh, I bet.
And you hear amazing. It's awesome.
Nice.
All right, from favorite venue, is there a dream show you'd love to be a part of?
That's...
Or you'd love to play someplace, or just be, on some bill.
Yeah, dream show, sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm.
probably like
Just alive, please.
just what'd you say?
Just alive artists.
Not like Beethoven or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd love to play with all the Beatles.
Yeah, right. I don't know, man. Like if I was gonna accompany someone, I'd love obviously like any songwriter.
Not a company, still you.
Oh yeah,
But, like you're on the bill.
Yeah, on the bill.
Okay.
No, like, any great songwriter. I'd love to play with Conor Oberst or Ben Gibbard, Stephen Merritt, who I mentioned before. Bo Burnham be incredible, But I'm certainly not entertaining any that's not what it's about for me. I don't really care,
Right.
that it would be cool in like in a geeky way, but any show where someone is honestly, connecting with what you're doing, with what I'm playing, that it's that moment you want to search for, where I'm sure you've had this, where you're listening to music and you hear a song and you think like, oh shit, like that song like identified something I didn't realize that song articulated something.
Right. It opened your mind to something that you had never thought about. And suddenly there you are thinking about it. You're like, this is who I am, or this is what I've been searching for. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even better, sometimes it's like, I have had that thought and I just didn't think to say it that way. I didn't think to write that song. But now that it's there, it's perfect for what, and so that anytime you can have that moment, that's my dream show, is just someone in the audience genuinely connecting that way.
You've probably had the same thought I had, where like, why didn't I write that?
Yeah, exactly. Totally, yeah.
I think it's time for another jump cut while the dog wants out. We're back again.
Hi again.
Now let's talk gear.
Yes.
What are you currently rocking?
My guitar is a Taylor.
Taylor what?
Taylor 114 cutaway.
Any particular strings you rock, or you just whatever you find?
I got the Elixir
they're pretty bright, aren't they?
Yeah, very bright, yeah. Cool. I generally like a pretty bright, jangly...
Me too. Something about the acoustics I have, they just seem bassier than I like a lot of times, so I balance it out by putting bright strings on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the Elixirs, they have a lot of gives, so the nanowebs do, which I like. I hate when I pick up a fretboard and it's like a little tight and I can't do anything. So I like to feel nice and liquid.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any pedals?
I don't typically use guitar pedals. I got one at home. I don't even know what the hell it's called. It's like
what is it? I mean, a distortion or what?
It's got distortion on it, which is typically what I use. It's got some cool ass weird shit.
Oh, so it's an effects pedal.
Yeah, it's Okay.
I
don't know what it is, but it's like Effect 54 is what you hear on Your Dick is Perfect.
Right.
Crazy,
it's one of those.
Yeah.
It's a program. You have to okay, this song I do this number, and this song I do this number.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's two schools of thought. There's like not analog, but there's the toe tappers where I want a pedal for each sound, so that I know I can go right to that sound. And then there's the ones like that where I know for this song I'm going to have this tone. And it kind of depends on the music you're writing, I think. Me, I'm a toe tapper personally.
Okay.
I like having a distortion pedal to go bonk, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, sure. Well, if you're doing a lot of switching around, especially like in the context of one song, then you kind of need.
Yeah, and that's the music I like. Is clean distortion, reverb, distortion.
All over the map. Cool.
I like the dynamic tension. Hey. So, do you play through an amp, or you just plug into a
PA? At home, I play through.
Well, no, when you perform
an amp. At venues, I typically go through the house sound system. It's just simpler usually for sound person. Plus, it usually sounds better than if I brought it in, my little cube or whatever. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any dream gear that you're lusting after?
Shoot, dream gear. I must say I'm not much of a gearhead. Like I don't geek out about it. Gear is kind of it's the necessity, So you got to get the gear so you can do the thing, So when I'm buying gear, I figure it out. I do my research, and I just bought a keyboard. I bought a Roland FP30, which is a pretty good digital piano, So I was reading a lot about those. But as far as dream gear, I don't sit and I don't go through Guitar Player magazine and worry about it. To me, it's what can the gear do for your song. It always comes back to the song. Like I don't get excited about
Right.
I get this thing. I get this. I see it a little bit as like a materialistic thing, I guess. I don't need guitars just to like have guitars. I need guitars so I can play songs. And so far for what I'm doing, the stuff I have is working well for that. And I think sometimes there's like a magic to just like junk gear too, it just depends. Like you can have a shitty old like upright piano with like some dead keys on it, but if it inspires you to write something, or maybe you can do something because it has like a weird ass dead key that you wouldn't be able to do with with a good piano, So I just like to mess around. I like to play around with shit. It all comes back to you just gotta write. If you write real songs, it doesn't really matter what you're using.
Cool. All right. So from the highs of dream gear to the lows of losing gear. You ever lose gear?
Yeah, well, kind of. As I mentioned before, I played some music with my brothers. We were actually in a band when I was in high school together. We were in a band called The Hard Goodbye.
Nice.
So if you ever went to a Hard Goodbye show, that was me. I was that guy back when I was like 16. Yeah, we had some good instruments in that band, man. We had a Fender Strat, an American made.
Ooh, nice.
And yeah. But it wasn't mine. It was my brother. So he eventually sold it. Now we don't get to play it anymore. So that's kind of that's my lost gear story. Mike, why'd you sell the Strat?
But no, like we left at a gig or we, someone stole it or something.
Luckily, no, that has not happened to me.
Because I did.
Did you really?
Oh man! Have you ever heard of a Teisco guitar? Teisco, Japanese brand, but it was sold out of Woolworths. If you're a faithful fan of the channel, I apologize. You've heard this story before. And in the 60s, this was 65, it was a Del Rey. If you could convince your parents to let you play electric guitar in the house, this was one of the ones that you could buy. And usually they were red, but I worked at a pawn shop and I opened the case for something that was going to go up for sale and it was green. And it had the pickguard was mirrored with like stripes where it was like, just mirror and then textured, mirror textured. Really nice. And the bridge was like gears and stuff, and the whammy bar started this thin and ended up that thick. So like you get it and you're bending.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and it was a zero nut, which I'd never seen before, and I just remember going, "What is that?" And I did some research, and it's like $165 on eBay, so it wasn't like this really rare unicorn, but it was something I'd never seen, and it spoke to me. I've never had a guitar just like really like that. So I worked a deal with the manager and I bought it and I liked it. And I wrote, I recorded with it and I played many songs with it and I loved it. And I left it in the parking lot right outside the van.
Shit, no.
Right outside the van. Left in the parking lot at Hooters Casino after a battle of the bands. And I got home and I was like, did I just do that? Needless to say, it was gone.
Yeah, you probably went back.
I didn't bother, I didn't bother alerting the pawn shops because, I knew what it was worth.
Yeah.
But that's my lost story. That's my heartbreak.
That's shitty. Sorry about that, man.
No, that's right.
Yeah,
so last thing. Let's pretend we're talking to a new musician.
Hey, new musician. How are you?
Someone who wants to play guitar. Or maybe piano. Or maybe viola. I don't know.
Also great choices.
Any maintenance tips?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so if
you can skip, change your strings, and clean your strings. Everybody says that.
Do they? Yeah, well.
But what else do you do?
You're not going to get far if you don't do that.
Yeah.
But if you're living in Vegas, man, make sure you are humidifying your guitar. That's the biggest thing.
The little in-string one?
I bought a Damp It because the in-string one wasn't doing shit.
Damp It.
It's like a big, long, like rubber like hose thing. And you put it in the guitar, and then it has a little plastic cover that attaches to it, and that slides right over the sound hole. So it contains the humidifier, then like moisture doesn't escape back out of the sound hole, basically.
So you put the rubber thing in the moisture in the hole, like in the guitar body.
In the body,
and it doesn't warp the wood or doesn't make it.
Not so far, but I had to do that because I bought one of those little like things, a little bottle, and then you stick it on top of the strings, and I wasn't doing enough. I was still getting like my frets started getting buzzy after a few months, so. I took back, into Guitar Center, I think, and guy recommended Damp It. And
never heard of it, but I'll check it out.
He's been a few years, so.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest thing if you're playing out here, and then
especially if you're playing out in Vegas.
Yeah.
Because if you're just like me, my guitars stay in my house now. it's air conditioned. It's I don't really worry about too much about humidity. And if I was playing a gig though, I would dig out my little in-string humidifier and make sure of that. But yeah, no, damp it. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's if you're driving around then in this heat and you're tossing your trunk or something, you definitely want that in there.
And if you personally have a humidifying thing that you like to use instead, feel free to put it in the comments.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the last question, by the way.
Wow.
We made it.
Wow.
Good job.
We made it. We've come so far.
Right? We've come so far. So definitely go to bandcamp.com. Look for Joey Hines. It's spelled like this. And you check out those 3 albums. Also, Don't Make Fun of Me and Okay, Now You Can Make Fun of Me. Great album covers, by the way.
Thank you, man.
Also, you can pick up merch. Stick around. We're going to check him out up in room 6, playing some guitar and piano.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for coming to room 6. And we'll see you next time.
This is called Getting Drunk and Eating Pizza.
Later tonight, girl, I really wanna know. If you've got plans, that's alright, that's fine. I've been wondering though, what you think about getting drunk and eating pizza. 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 To my house, girl, you're gonna have so much fun. Gonna sit down on my couch and turn Netflix on while we getting drunk and eating pizza. 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 When you're drunk, you say the craziest, most ridiculous stuff. 'Cause when you're drunk, you don't think twice. When you're drunk, you say that you love me. You say that you love me. You say that you love me. As you reach for another slice. Life is shorter than it seems, girl, it's gonna end someday. So let's live the American dream and do the same thing every night until we pass away. We'll be getting drunk on Blue Moon and ordering pizza. Getting drunk and eating pizza. Getting drunk and eating pizza. Getting drunk and eating pizza with pepperoni. Getting drunk and eating pizza with no anchovies. Getting drunk and eating pizza with Uncle Tony. Getting drunk and eating pizza with Joe Maloney. Getting drunk and eating pizza. Don't you wanna be getting drunk and eating pizza with me? Getting drunk and eating pizza all night long. Getting drunk and eating pizza and singing this song.
This is called I Want Out.
Your expectations were unrealistic. You shouldn't have asked me to do you a favor. I never deliver. I never pull through. You should know that by now. I've told you before, but you still insist on guilting me into continuing this self-righteous odyssey. I don't know why I hang around you when I don't agree with you. Even half of the time I want out of the obligation, out of the contract you wrote. I want out of the complication. I don't care if I rock the fucking boat. I want out of everything about you. There was a time I still remember when it wasn't so bad. You were more open and I was gentler, more optimistic. We were able to listen to each other's ideas, but now you are so rude. I don't think you care what I think about anything. You have your ambition and that's all you want. You'll push it forever, and I am so happy where I am, and that's why I want out of the obligation, out of the contract you wrote. I want out of the complication. I don't care if I rock the fucking boat. I just want out of everything about you.
This is a trilogy about a boy named Timmy, and this is the first part. It's called Timmy's Discovery.
Timmy was a very lonely boy. He longed for a friend to hang out with. His parents always made him do the chores. If only there was some way out of it. Oh, 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 oh. Timmy's only friends were in books that he read about fantasy kingdoms far away, where wizards adopted little boys. He hoped one would come for him someday and make his dreams come true. Oh, Timmy. Timmy was in his living room when a mysterious door appeared. He stepped inside. He was transported to a magical land with horrible monsters, and Timmy soon died as they feasted on his flesh. So appreciate what you have, boys and girls, and be careful what you wish for. 'Cause what seems like heaven might really be hell, and you'll never come back through that door. No, you'll never come back through that door.
This is called Timmy's Mom, the Monster Killer.
Timmy's mom, the monster killer. Timmy's mom, the monster killer. Timmy's mom, the monster killer. Timmy's mom, the monster killer. She's so mad because those monsters Timmy's mom, the monster killer, Timmy's mom, the monster killer, Timmy's mom, the monster killer, Timmy's mom, the monster killer. She found the monster that ate Timmy, and she cut open his stomach, and the monster died. And Timmy fell out of the stomach. He was covered in blood, but his mom didn't care, and she hugged him anyway, cause she's Timmy's mom, the monster killer, Timmy's mom, the monster killer, Timmy's mom, the monster killer, Timmy's mom, the monster killer. Now the monsters are extinct. Timmy's mom committed genocide, but that's okay, cause they were evil monsters. And she held Timmy in her arms for the first time in a few hours and said, oh, my little boy, go clean your room, cause she's Timmy's mom, the monster killer, 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 Timmy's mom.
This is called Timmy's Dad.
Timmy's dad didn't even notice Timmy was gone. He just sat on the sofa cause the game was on. When his wife got home, he said, where's my dinner? So she chopped off his head cause she's Timmy's mom, the monster killer.
This song is called I Love You, and then in parentheses, but I don't love Seether.
I love you, but I don't love Seether, and that's a problem because you really like Seether, and it's not that they suck, I just can't get into them, and you play them all the time, in your room or on a drive, baby, I love you, but I don't love Seether. I can't stand Billy Corgan either. I mean, don't get me wrong, old school Smashing Pumpkins was great, but you're really into the reunion era, like the stuff they've been making since 2007, and it's retroactively ruining Siamese dream for me, baby. I can't stand Billy Corgan either, no, no, not anymore. Anyway, back to Seether. I know I said it's not that they suck, but I changed my mind, they suck. I'm so sick of broken, soul means a little better, but it still sucks. And I love you so much, we've had so much fun these past 10 years, but this Seether thing, I want a divorce.
This song is called Nothing Will Ever Be the Same.
No one knows where all those weeks went after your freak accident. Who are you trying to impress? Seether girl in the yellow dress stole your mother's wedding band off a bedside stand. You planned to ask for her hand, but nothing'll ever be the same. Tom and Jerry, Huckleberry, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, and Winnie the Pooh. The decorations on your wall haven't moved at all since you were small. Space that ignores your fate in a frozen state where nothing's changed, but still nothing'll ever be the same. Said bad words, so she called yours. Oh, she was furious. My angel, he would never lie, but you know the truth, and so do I. But then nothing'll ever be the same. You were the first person that I ever knew who died. It's all over, and I don't know why. You were the one we had to lose. Sometimes I wonder what it felt like. Try to put myself in your shoes. Familiar falling, slap of concrete, miscalculation, it terrifies me. God left his way to the bank. I just know someone got rich off that bullshit, 'cause nothing'll ever be the same. Never again.
I want to thank Joey for coming by. It was a great interview and a great performance. If you want to hear more from Joey, click here. If you want to subscribe, click here. Really appreciate you coming. This is a special episode. I hit 50 subscribers. I hope to make it 100 by next month. So please like, share, and subscribe. In the meantime, remember to be amazing, and we'll see you next time on Room 6.